We're broadcasting from the nation's capital and bulldozing our way through the Commonwealth. Hey, you know us. We're the adults in the room. So put your big boy pants on and let's get right to State Senator Steve Martin. He's a Republican. He's one of 7 candidates running for the GOP nomination for Lieutenant Governor. This will be decided in a caucus on May 18th. If you're in Craig County, you're basically screwed because in that particular instance, we had a number of delegates that got ousted. So my first question, Senator, is this egregious attempt to slate candidates that is further diminishing the GOP? How do you stand on this?
Well, I'm opposed to any slating effort. I happened to be in the room in Craig County when it happened, and there were 3 people that were not accepted.
Why?
There wasn't any reason given. It wasn't explained there. You could, as you left, you talked to people, but I think the reasons that were given had to do with whether or not the people that were voting felt like they were really Republicans. But I know all 3 of the folks have been very active in the party in the past. That was the reasons that were given.
All right, before we move on to the bigger issues of the day that revolve around your own candidacy, where's the outrage with this? I mean, at a time that we need to be expanding the party, why are we allowing county chairmen who are paid staffers by somebody else to kick people out of the process? How is this helping?
It's not an allowing issue. I mean, the rules allow the local delegation to decide who their delegates are. So the rules allow for the use of both slating and instructing, but it's not a tactic that is helpful to build the party at all. And each of the candidates have taken a position and committed to say that they would not do it. And of course, this person is a paid staffer of one of my opponents, and it's wrong to do it. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. We can't really say that it's a rules violation because it's not. It's not a rules violation. It's something that the local units in their delegate selection process can do. It's a delegate selection process, and they're choosing not to send those 3 people. But it's definitely wrong. No question about it.
Outrageous. Okay, why don't we get to this weekend? We understand you had a lot of events happening this weekend. Tell us about your weekend and some of the issues with your own campaign.
Well, thank you very much. The last 6 days alone, I mean, I've traveled to Alexandria, spoke there for the Alexandria Committee, had events and meetings and activities in Pulaski County, in Gate City, down in Scott County, Pennington Gap in Lee County, Jonesville in Lee County. I'm told I got as close as 16, 20 miles or so from the Kentucky line there with some of my activities there. We had dinner with leadership in Wise County, Abingdon in Washington County, Wytheville in Wythe County, and then up in Craig County, as you just mentioned a few minutes ago. And then Sunday morning, I visited a church in Richlands. The chairman of the committee is a staffer there in Tazewell County. And then traveled 6 hours to Kilmarnock in the Lancaster County Reagan Legacy Dinner there. Had a great time there. We had done a Reagan Legacy Dinner down in Washington as well. And then we had a joint appearance. I think only 3 of the candidates showed up in Warsaw and Richmond County for a candidate forum. So we've been getting around the state and talking to delegates, signing up delegates in jurisdiction after jurisdiction, and doing well in our delegate commitment and sign-up and filing process, jurisdiction after jurisdiction.
Do you feel that at this junction that your campaign is moving forward that's going to put you in a position to be the nominee?
Well, absolutely. You cannot be everywhere at every time. This weekend was set for us, weeks ago. I know that the concern was expressed, I think, yesterday morning as to why I wasn't in Prince William, but
right.
And on Saturday morning. But you just can't be everywhere, and said back in earlier February, saying that I was going to be in Southwest Virginia back when the previous time of the Washington dinner and our travels down there had to be changed because of the snow and weather and that sort of thing.
Well, hey, these things happen. As you say, you can't be every place all the time at the same time. Hey, why don't we get to your idea for getting rid of the state's income tax? Can you share with our audience what the parameters of that are?
Yes. Well, I mean, let's go with the basis. I mean, we'll start with the parameters. The parameters, of course, are that, as you well know, that corporate income tax is paid from money that comes out of the consumer's pocket. Consumer of goods and services comes out of jobs that could have been created, businesses that would have been expanded, increased income and profits that would have been spent in the community. But the fact is that more jobs, as I say, more jobs would be created without it. The thing that excited me about it, and it's just so you know, the bill is before a commission. They call it the Tax Preference Commission right now. The concept of repealing the corporate income tax has been referred there, this legislation. But a lot of people are not aware that the Panama Canal is in the process of being widened.
Yes.
And it's scheduled to be completed in 2014. And with that, the westward bound shipping coming from the Far East, that has been, a lot of it that's been stopping at West Coast ports, will be coming through the Panama Canal. And those ports on the West Coast are going to lose a lot of business because
absolutely
it costs less money to ship it around through Panama than it is to take it through a port and then take it cross country. So we need to be positioned to be the destination in competing with those ports here on the East Coast and in the Gulf. We need to be positioned. I don't think we can find ourselves better positioned than to have repealed the corporate income tax. Even if you're a static thinker, even if you think the economy is static, the fact is, if you repeal the corporate income tax, in the first year we'd be $400 million short on revenue out of a $40-some billion budget, annual budget. But the economy is not static; it is dynamic. When a policy changes, decisions change, activities change because of and economies change as a result of policies. And I do not believe for a minute that policy change would leave us $400 million short, even in the first year, and even the static thinker would have that revenue shortfall disappearing in the first 3.5 years. So, in my opinion, it would disappear much quicker than that, and Virginia would be well positioned to be that port of entry and the place where so many companies will open up to receive those goods and distribute those goods and use those goods in the manufacturing process and distribution.
Right, because as when the Panama Canal widens, you're going to get the bigger ships in there. Now, there's only 3 basic ports in the East that we compete with that are deep water: Savannah, Charleston, New Orleans. So obviously they have to come to one of those, or obviously ours. Now, but that was one of the arguments for passing the transportation package. Now was so that we could deal with the issue of, if the ships come in, that they can then truck their goods and services over the road out of Virginia to Indianapolis, Cincinnati, whatever. So, but you voted no on the transportation package. So isn't that the economy?
Well, not at all. I voted yes on a transportation package that did not have the tax increases within it, and our transportation package would have brought in about 75 to 80% of what the final package did. So it's not at all a dichotomy. You're going to sit here and tell me that because I didn't vote for a particular one that did a particular thing, that's a dichotomy. That's foolishness. You know, my opinion, we should be spending more in general funds and we should not be raising taxes in the process.
By the way, calling John foolish on his birthday, he's been called worse.
Hey, by the way, John,
don't worry about it. I've been called a lot worse. Let's see, rhino,
I'm here saying,
liberal in disguise, wacko bird. It goes on and on.
Hey, John, one thing is for certain: you're not a fool. If foolishness implies that, but that's not true whatsoever. But the concept of having to vote an exact plan in order to be behind a desired effort is that would be inaccurate. And by the way, happy birthday!
Thank you,
Senator Martin. Before we run out of time, we want to make sure that we get to another issue that's very close to your heart, and that is choice when it comes to education. Talk to us about your plan, your ideas for that.
Well, I mean, this has been a long fought thing for years. I mean, the fact is that if you have the money in your pocket to buy a home in a district where you believe there's a quality education available to your child in the public school system, you can do that. If you've got the money to send your child to a private school of your choice, you can do that. The children that are trapped in failing schools are the ones that are children of families that can't afford to do that. There's only one reason for public schools to even exist, and that is to make sure that every child, no matter their origins, whether they're regardless of their regional, geographic, racial, economic background, they have an opportunity for a quality education. Yet in the state of Virginia, and we've got far more schools than this are doing poorly, but there are 6 schools that have not been credentialed and what would you call it, certified for the last 3 to 4 years, year after year. As a matter of fact, I think it's 4 years, and those poor kids are trapped in a system that are failing them. I believe we should have wide open school choice. Now, the present interpretation of the Constitution is that you cannot have the money follow the child. There are other lawyers that say it's wrong, but if that's going to be the interpretation, then we need to change the Constitution. We need a wide open school choice process where, when our schools are not doing the quality, providing the quality educational opportunity for children that they need, their parents can choose to send them elsewhere, and the money will follow them.
Senator Martin, I want to get back to your idea to abolish the state's income tax. Similar proposal.
Corporate income tax.
Corporate income tax. Corporate income tax. Thanks, Steve. Your idea to abolish the state's corporate income tax. A similar proposal has been put on the table by another candidate for lieutenant governor, businessman and entrepreneur, Pete Snyder. What's different of your idea and Pete Snyder's idea? What are the differences in there?
He doesn't have a different proposal. As a matter of fact, it's an endorsement of mine that I put on the table last September. As a matter of fact, the gentlemen that have talked to him about it are the people that came to me about it last spring, over a year, close to a year ago. So he doesn't. As a matter of fact, I haven't even heard a proposal at all from him, other than simply saying that he thinks we ought to do it, and that's the difference. I have the experience. I have the record. I've been fighting for these things. I really appreciate, as a matter of fact, his discussion of his Big Ideas campaign, because each and everything that he talks about are as big ideas are things that I have been fighting for. As a matter of fact, the repeals of some of these boards and commissions and political subdivisions in 2004 and 2005, I chaired a commission to do exactly that. And if my numbers are off, I don't mean to be. I'm going by what legislative services have told me, that the bills that I introduced and carried in those sessions, had the effect of reducing the state number of boards, agencies, commissions, foundations, that sort of thing, that are run by the state by about a total of about 50. And so I've been doing those things. And he specifically mentions the Cave Board and the Milk Commission. Fine, let's get rid of those. But please understand that the Cave Board doesn't even collect a single fee to pay for anything. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out. They are volunteer. They're academiacs that are studying caves, and they raise their own money to pay for it. And then the Milk Commission is something that the milk industry has begged for. Fine, you're right. Fees are just as much taxes as taxes. They're called different. Every single dime that is paid by the milk industry itself because it wants the endorsement of the state. The standards of the state set, and there's no money coming out of a taxpayer's pocket except for the milk industry itself. And
Senator, unfortunately, we're up against the clock here. I don't want to let you go without you taking advantage of of what we offer every candidate who appears. And please give out your website, sir, before we run out of time.
SenatorSteveMartin.com, and you can reach me at steve@SenatorSteveMartin.com. And but apparently I've been a big idea legislator for a long time, and I appreciate Pete's endorsement of all those ideas.
And we appreciate your time this morning. I know that you were traveling until the early hours, and we thank you so much for coming on to clarify and to make clear your positions, and we'll have you on again very soon. We appreciate it. Thank you, Senator Martin.
Thank you very much.